Out there in digital Magic the Gathering land. It's long time, I guess 6 weeks?
You could have said Dominaria, but that's not really appropriate anymore.
No, it's a shame, but I do like that place. Here we are on the Magic Box. I am your host, Tristan Sean Gregson, back as always with my trusty steed, Kyle Eck.
That sounded weird.
I
don't know how I feel about that.
We'll ride off into the sunset, I'll tell you. How was your holiday, sir? It's been a long time.
It was good. Busy as always. Christmas is always like I'm driving all over the place, making a bunch of stops.
A few spots to hit up.
Yeah, but it was alright. Eventually I went back to work and then I wasn't as busy.
Interesting. That is the stage of your life that you have reached. I'm glad to be back at work.
The least amount I do is at work. How about you? How was your holiday?
Pretty mellow. Got a lot of the nieces and nephews, so that takes up a lot of time, which I'm a really big fan of. I mean, talking to extended family, you're never on the same page as people. Even as you age, you're always kind of like, well, I'm sure more things will line up. I have the same interests you do. Technologies have moved we can...
I'm just happy my little nephews now are old enough that I could buy them Legos and not, give them just, here's a choking hazard for Christmas. So now, that's just all they're getting for the next, 10 years.
Or a small toy that they quickly discard.
Right.
You're, disappointed that you spent all the time and energy.
To find, and then oh, sweet, a box.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I actually got this nice sweatshirt for Christmas.
Oh, how very nice!
I love these. You guys should check out the special limited edition Mana Symbol zip up hoodies. I think it's the best Magic apparel product out there. Not that my intention is to pimp the brand or anything. Although they do run a little small, so should have got the XL. This one's a little tight.
Shut off the figure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into that, that's a good thing. Good one for the ladies, if you will. But those of you watching at home, you can't tell, but you can imagine what it looks like. It's as stunning as you would imagine.
I kind of like that because it's fairly, muted. I don't have a problem telling people I play Magic or anything like that, but every Magic shirt I've ever seen is I'm a Planeswalker.
Those ones, anything with Liliana or Chandra on it, I would not be seen in public wearing.
Right, exactly. It's just too embarrassing.
I actually feel like I got really lucky because the last Pro Tour I played in, the promotional shirt for the Pro Tour was the Jace, the Mind Sculptor one.
Uh-huh.
That logo that I had for years, I just hadn't used it since then. So
I like
a halfway legitimate shirt.
I like the one that's just the Planeswalker logo. That's fine.
It's on the back of this one actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
I like the little thing.
Yeah.
I mean, even as a shirt, that's subtle enough that it's fine. I don't know. I just don't need Liliana in lingerie, casting magic.
Then people ask you questions what is this? And there's no good answer.
Yeah, there is literally no good answer.
Meanwhile, the Fireball, you can barely even really tell it's a Fireball. I eventually, I'm going to collect the whole set of these, assuming they don't run out. Because they said they're limited print run, but I like them all. I'd like to, one every weekday, we'll switch it up. Especially when it's not hockey season.
Then I got hybrid manas.
Whoa, I don't know.
There you go. Then X. You can get one that's just X on it.
So, tonight on the show, it might be a little abbreviated. We've got some eating/hockey/magic plans that we may need to get to. But we're going to talk about Board of the Gods. Thankfully, we did not try to do a show every week during the set spoiler season because, oh man, is it unexciting.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Board of the Gods did not have a lot of winners in it. I'm sure everybody else who's seen the spoiler at this point. But we'll go over the cards. We'll talk about...
I will say I'm kind of happy because I think it's due time we get to take a step back.
Yeah.
I was at Spoiler Overload from 2013. Now we're in 2014, and I look at it kind of
like... The first set's bad?
Yeah, I'm again, initially looking at the card changes, I was like, it could be 2 or 4 cards from this set. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think I nominated 5 cards. So
yeah,
we don't have a fully complete.
We currently have a rough draft, which we will share with you this evening, but it is not the locked-in change. We already kind of made one of those at the turn of the year. I'm making 2014 the year of the no more dirtling.
I reported on Twitter as soon as you said that. It's breaking news.
We're cutting the dirtle from the cube in 2014. There were a lot of cool corner case interactions,
a lot of jerking off,
really fun combos that you could have happen. But that's not what we want. We want
the power,
straight power magic.
And raw efficiency.
I think playing 60 MTGO holiday cube drafts really helped reinforce that.
The dirtle out of your system.
I think in the 18 cards I changed on January 1st, a lot of them were ones that were in the MTGO cube. Brought back Finkel.
And
brought in Mezfiend.
We'll talk about the Moto cube as well too. Now that we've gotten another season of that.
I do have quite a few drafts of that under my belt, and I'm looking forward to the next iteration. I'm going to make sure I don't make the same mistake I did last year. Because after drafting extensively the Holiday Cube and bringing it back to the unpowered cube, it was a little bit of a letdown. But not so much a letdown as much as a abysmal failure on my part to adjust back to how much attacking and blocking one has to do in that environment.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that cube is weird. It's so much...
It's actually ironic. This year in Holiday Cube, I attacked and blocked so much more than I did the year before. In 2012 for the Holiday Cube, it was nothing but combos and time spirals and shieldreds and gristle
They cut
bands.
some of the... It's funny. It's we talk about Storm combo and people ask us about it, and that's one of the common questions on the Cube Reddit subreddit. Is all about, can we make Storm work? What do we do for Storm? And it's like the Holiday Cube is a great example because they cut a pretty small amount of the Storm cards, and the archetype fell apart.
It was still there. It was still played a lot.
But it was not nearly to the prevalence of it in last year.
It wasn't as good as it was last year, I agree, but I think that creatures get better every year. I think that it's not as cut and dry as Storm cards got cut from the Holiday Cube more this year than previous year. Thusly, Storm is not as good. I think that there are other factors involved. Attacking will always get better, and Storm will very rarely get a card that it would want to add to its arsenal.
Yeah, they don't really print Seething Songs anymore.
And the nice thing about Cube is that at least Wizards isn't all the way out there we'll just put in Desperate Ritual and Cabal Ritual.
Yeah.
And they know where to draw the line. And a lot of people always ask, how do you add Storm to Cube? Because Storm can be fun from time to time. I too have drafted it, enjoyed it, but we don't run it in our cube. And I think you need to have a smaller cube in order to make Storm work. You just play the premium Storm cards. Obviously, the 700 card environment, I don't think Storm would thrive in our cube.
Well, the problem is in order to make Storm thrive, you would have to cut a ton of cards to make it work that nobody else wants. That's the big argument I always give to people when they ask about Storm is, the Moto Cube has it, and it's fun, and I want to play it, and it's okay, well, you're going to put 24 cards that no one other than the Storm Drafter wants in your cube, so a bunch of people are going to be like, oh, look, 4 cards that I could never ever want are in this pack. That makes this really interesting. And then the Storm Drafter is stoked, but it doesn't make for any kind of interesting draft scenarios. There's no decisions. It's is there a Storm card in the pack? Yes, take it. Is there not? Be sad.
Well, I mean,
there's just so little.
There's deeper strategies. There's things there, but it takes a lot of time to kind of milk it out. Again, if you watched John Finkel's stream extensively during the last Holiday Cube season, there's somebody that was forced to find every nook and cranny of the Storm archetype. I love watching him draft because he'll never pass Impulse. He'll never pass Memory Jar. He'll never pass. There's all these cards printed before 2002 that are just always in John's decks. And he makes those things work. I mean, I think one of the things I found with drafting Storm in the MTGO Cube is that you have to attack sometimes. If you're DZY, you might be attacking with a Primeval Titan. If you're myself,
I watched a lot. Every time I tried to watch DZY Cube Draft, I was always I would turn it on in the middle of Pack 2, just randomly, and I'd be like, okay, what do we got here?
It would look like he DC'd.
Yeah, I'm okay, Primeval Titan, Enlightened Tutor, Tolarian Academy. Okay, what in the world? Okay, now he's taking black cards. Okay, and it was just, his decks were just so sideways. It felt like a lot.
Yeah, it was. But again, you can do it. I think we got a little sidetracked on that subject. But I think that
right.
I like Storm from time to time. I wouldn't. It's kind of like dessert. I don't want to eat dessert for dinner every day.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, we want to have access to it. I think that to me is kind of the biggest allure of the MTGO Holiday Cube. Is it's close to what I do every day of the week, or every week at least. But it adds these other elements like Storm that I get a chance to draft. So that is great. Although, for our scenarios from this particular week, we actually have some examples from the MTGO Cube drafts I had done and had been thoroughly perplexed by, and thought that other people should weigh in on those decisions. So, Eck, would you like to show us?
Well, let's start with one from our own cube, shall we?
Oh, you have one ready.
I have one ready.
I did not realize.
I have. It's been staring you in the face.
Oh, is that what that is? I was unaware.
Sorry. We're going the low budget route.
We just loaded up CubeTutor.com. Check out CubeTutor.com.
Yeah.
We are actually the 1141st cube
We got it on the ground floor.
Yeah, so if you search for it by number, you could find it that way to draft it, or you could just look for it.
Okay, so anyway, for the viewers listening to this, our pack contains Crater Hellion, Lightning Mauler, Read the Bones, Teferi, Mage of Zalfir, Hutmaster of the Fells, Survival of the Fittest, Mesmeric Fiend, Hymn to Torak, Strategic Planning, Thundermaw Hellkite, Kor Skyfisher, Raphellos Llanowar Emissary, Devil's Play, Bloodbraid Elf, Pernicious Deed. What do we like here?
Fellows.
Okay, why?
Because that would be the time to want to go in on big green rampy action and get the best of those cards in that archetype.
So you don't think if you're going to take a green card, you don't want to take Survival here?
I think Survival has dropped in value in Cube over the years. I still think it is a fine card. It is actually possibly open to more strategies than Raphellos is, but the power level of Raphellos in the Cube, based on the seemingly ever-dwindling power level of Survival of the Fittest, makes me lean towards taking Raphellos in this particular circumstance.
See, I don't think Survival is dwindling in power at all, especially as creatures, especially narrow, powerful creatures, are more and more prevalent. Enter the battlefield effects are great with Survival because you can pick and choose what you need at what time.
Your Survival deck from this afternoon had some good ones in it.
It's true. Anytime you can also abuse the graveyard with it, it's good. I had a couple of these cards actually in that deck. I really like taking, and this might just be because I haven't drafted it in a while, I really like taking Thundermaw here. Thundermaw is not necessarily purely just like a mono red aggro card. Like, you can also play it in like a Wildfire control deck. You can play it, in a couple other spots. Ramp is another fine place for it. It's just so powerful. It just ends games very quickly, and most people don't like budget time for how quickly they just get obliterated by Thundermaw. And if you ever get to gotcha their special procession tokens or a Vendilion click or something brutal, then it's even better. But it's just 5/5 flying haste, can't be blocked the turn you play it. It's just excellent. I really like that card. No drawbacks on it. And it's definitely, even if I'm going to play the aggressive red, like the Goblin Guide decks, Thundermaw is the one card above 4 mana I want in the deck, and the only one. I don't want anything other than that. So I can still play that deck, as well as maybe I'll play some kind of mid-rangey deck, or I could play, maybe that Crater Hellion comes back and I play Big Red or something like that. So I like Thundermaw here, personally. You're sticking with your fellows?
I'm sticking with fellows. I mean, we opened mid-range the pack, I feel like, in many ways.
This is not a doctored pack at all, as you can see.
I feel like Teferi's days in Cube are numbered. I feel like Crater Hellion...
Teferi's fine. Crater Hellion's a little loose.
He's alright.
This is also...
He's another form of Mizium Mortars.
These are all...
Devil's Play was surprisingly good for me recently. And I don't want to have a small sample size on it, but the fact that, I could cast it twice in a big mana deck was, a very, very, very big deal. A lot more... Yeah. It was better than, let's say, a Banefire or Demon Fire would have been.
Yeah, I just think we still have too many of these, personally. Their numbers are...
You don't want to make one tempt with vengeance?
God, no.
Tempt with vengeance.
God, we'll talk about that.
It's so tempting.
It's not tempting at all. Tempt with poop. You want to do another one from our cube? We hit the refresh button.
We got a lot to cover, not a lot of time, though.
Alright, fine. We'll do your holiday drafts.
It's just something different, man.
Okay, so this is a draft. This is the opening of Pack 2.
Now, I'll give you the pertinent cards from Pack 1, because we're not going to sit here and read you 30 Magic cards. But we have a Plateau and Izzet Boilerworks for fixing. We have a Balance, an Impulse, a Lightning Helix, a Remand, a Venser the Sojourner, a Revelark, and a Siege Game Commander. So we've got some Revelark tricks, we've got a Balance that may affect us.
We're all American.
We've got just the only red cards we have so far: the Helix and the Siege Game Commander.
We also have a Caracas, which might be relevant.
Which could be. not relevant to this pack, I guess. I don't think it's relevant to this deck. So anyway, opening up in pack 2. What do we have, Eck?
So, given those cards, blue, white, red, control-y kind of deck, we see Brainstorm, Lightning Bolt, Counterspell, Empty the Warrens, Savannah Lions, Ink Eyes the Desecrator, Mirror Battlesphere, Temple Garden, True Name Nemesis, Dream Halls, Ulvenwald Tracker, Graveborn Muse, Lotus Cobra, Sphinx of the Steel Wind, Sword of Feast and Famine.
And I don't even think you can kind of like quickly narrow this down to 2 cards or even 3 cards. I think that
there is like a minimum of 5 cards in this pack.
Yeah, that if you randomly disconnected and came back, you'd be like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge Brainstorm fiend in MTGO Cube in general, but I don't think that's a clear one.
Lightning Bolt, Counterspell, True Name Nemesis, and Sword of Feast and Famine, and Brainstorm are all arguably, you could argue are correct. I think Brainstorm of these is the weakest because you currently have no way to shuffle your library and nothing to you don't have Delver.
Well, technically, you have an Intuition in your draft pool, but that might be a little too deep for this scenario. Obviously, making Revelark targets with your Intuition would be amusing, but not exactly a rock-steady plan.
True Name Nemesis is obviously insanely powerful. It's a little... It's True Name Nemesis kind of pushes this deck in a different direction, I think. Right now we're very control-heavy. Balance, Impulse, Lightning Helix, Memory Lapse, Remand. We're looking at a lot of reactive cards. Something like Counterspell or Lightning Bolt would fit really well into those. Whereas True Name, we're kind of shifting to be more of a proactive deck.
Tap out blue-white. I like
right.
what it is.
Similarly, like Sword of Feast and Famine kind of works in the same way. We don't have a lot of creatures. We have 3 creatures so far. We have a Revelark, a Siege Gang, and Gideon's Lockkeeper. So we would have to start prioritizing guys pretty highly to make Sword really good.
I mean, we're going to fist pump when that Savannah Lions tables, which we're assuming is going to happen.
I mean, it's the only white card, so if there's a white drafter, they're probably snapping it.
I mean, from my experience drafting MTGO Cube, very rarely are the small white guys taken. I ended up drafting that deck a bunch. Talking to a lot of people, because again, this one's a little bit older. It's been around the block once. True Name Nemesis and Sword of Feast and Famine were the cards where everyone was kind of drawn to.
Well, they're certainly the most powerful and flashy.
The raw power level of Sword talked a lot of people into it. And I think it's funny, talking to a lot of people that play a lot of Magic, the Swords are pretty overvalued in the MTGO Cube.
Well, there's so much more creature combat. It's so much more likely that your opponent has blockers to make Sword less impressive.
And, I mean, since it's also the powered cube, there's also chances where you end up with a deck that doesn't play that many guys.
Right.
And if your few guys get dealt with, your Sword did nothing ever.
Right. I like True Name here because it's you could just play True Name and then try and tempo them out with the rest of your cards and let True Name win the game on its own. It doesn't play well with your Revelark, but oh darn. I think it's funny because all these cards are really good.
Yeah, that's the best part about it.
It's
I actually took a screen capture of what came around on the wheel. It was that amusing.
Is that good?
In the moment I took True Name Nemesis, and I think I stand by that. That card is just that powerful. I have definitely won many games in digital and real life cube by just
attacking 7 times.
Having Nemesis, hopefully less than 7, but 7 if you have to.
Yeah, I think that I think I agree with that. Cards like Lightning Bolt, Brainstorm, and Counterspell, because they do things that this deck is already doing, you can kind of make your deck more consistent in that way. But True Name's just going to blow people out.
If that True Name Nemesis had been an Old Man of the Sea, I would take Counterspell.
Sure, but that makes this pack much less interesting. You could also take Sword, I think, in that case, possibly.
I still take Counterspell.
All right, so there's that one.
There's that one. Kill that.
We got another one. Another white-blue deck.
These cards look familiar. So this is 16 picks into the draft. This one is not as this one's not as difficult in retrospect, but at the time I was a little more perplexed because again we want to play a balanced deck. So in our current pool we have Mana Crypt, Mox Pearl, Balance, Forbid, Sword of Light and Shadow, Oblivion Ring, Restoration Angel, Venser, and Venser. Both Venser.
Venser Creature and Venser Planeswalker.
Yeah, so we have some hot flash action going on. And now we get past a pack with some hot ones, including
Remand, Jackal Pup, Indrik Stomphowler, Basalt Monolith, Bone Shredder, Avalanche Riders, Bloodghast, Thawing Glaciers, Grand Arbiter, Revelark, Mox Diamond, Polluted Delta, Elspeth Sun's Champion, Garrick Color of Beasts.
So Remand is the hottest tempo card we could possibly take right here. Basalt Monolith could lead to turn 2 Vincer the Sojourners with a Mana Crypt in our opening hand.
Oh, yeah, just, wow, whatever.
Grand Arbiter is bringing down the cost of all of our spells. We're going to, obviously it'll be a lot better with Revelark, so I'm enticed to take Revelark with the intent to wheel the Grand Arbiter. Mox Diamond could also be super hot in our colored quick mana balance deck. And then there's Elspeth Sun's Champion, which almost feels like an outlier because it is 6 mana in this set of circumstances. But it has the raw power that it kind of brings it back into the conversation.
I think that it's interesting. Mox Diamond is a card that makes a lot of sense to play with balance. You know, it's like a land, but you don't have to sack it, and it reduces your hand size, you know, so you can try and get better on balance. But in a deck that already has Moxen in it, it gets a lot worse because you're naturally going to drop your land count. So there's going to be more times where you have it and don't have a land to pitch.
It is a rookie mistake to consider Mox Diamond in your land spots, unlike Mox Pearl, which goes into your land spots.
Right.
Mox Diamond is very much a spell, and it can be very difficult when you're playing 14 land Mox Diamond.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. So even though, like, you could live the dream and be like, Mox Pearl, Mox Diamond, balance, like, get you, you know, it's...
Assuming your opponent will, like, one other player was like turn 1 Goblin Guide or Jackal Pup or something.
Yeah. So it, you know, it seems like very, very rarely is that going to be correct. Grand Arbiter, if this is the year that we kill the Dirtles, Grand Arbiter has a gigantic target on his back.
There's no Storm in our cube, so he does lose a little bit of value. In the MTGO cube, Grand Arbiter does more stuff because the store players kind of roll to that card.
He's such a big, stupid idiot.
What would you take if you were if I was to take him out of the cube right now? I'd bring in the Skyjack, the 3/1 with Detain, or 3/1 like.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, I like that card a lot. The Beatsy Downsies, and I also like Ascended Law.
The Beatsy Downsies.
I like Ascended Law Mage too, but I think that you want to make the guy cheaper.
I don't know. I have to think about it. I haven't thought about the blue-white section in a while.
I mean, it's like counter spells and
Sphinx's Revelation.
Yeah, I mean,
Venser is also on the chopping block. We've been having.
He is the captain.
He's the captain of Turtletown. He's the mayor.
Yeah.
He's like a little hat and a sash.
I mean, when we rated the Planeswalkers like 6 months ago or whatever, he was adequately rated in the yeah, that's where he's at kind of situation.
Yeah. So what did you end up taking?
I ended up taking the Elspeth. I felt dirty about it at the time because I passed my favorite buddy, good old Revelark.
Uh-huh.
But I gotta tell you, one card that has just shot through the roof in value for me, and that would be Elspeth Sun's Champion.
That thing is hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, making 3 blockers a turn, it is hard to deal damage to her.
It's funny because you're like 6 mana, alright, that's off-putting. Alright, make some 1/1s, alright, I'm not so sure. But then you look back a third time and you're like, oh, now it has 5 loyalty. You're like, yeah, okay, that is a problem.
Yeah. And not to mention the fact that I previously have, like, played it and immediately minused it, just, like, as an expensive kill your thing. Like, it still has enough flexibility, even though it's expensive.
Like that literal sorcery from Theros Limited, the 6 mana reprisal scry one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other feelings on this particular situation, Eck?
Thawing Glaciers? No. I mean, I kind of like Monolith just because it plays well with balance. You know, having artifact mana is good.
I would like to have like 7 cards from this pack in my deck.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'd like to have 7 cards from this pack.
I wasn't sure if you were talking about Mox Diamond or Thawing Glaciers.
I was talking about Mox Diamond.
Yeah, good. I mean, I guess you could sack this to balance. But
you could also pitch it to Mox Diamond.
Yeah. Best Thawing Glaciers 2014. Alright, so there's that. So...
Is that it for...
Yeah.
I guess that's it for that.
Yeah.
So, should we just jump right into the BOG spoils? Or do we want to talk any more about...
We could talk about... let's go post-mortem MTGO Cube. this time around, what'd you like, what'd you not like?
The chat says, Remand is very good there. I think Remand is very good. Remand, if there wasn't a Revel Arc in that pack and an Elspeth Sun Champion, I wouldn't want to cheat on my good buddy Revel Arc, and that's why I would take it. But if there wasn't those two cards, I would snap that Remand. That Remand is super good in that deck.
Yeah.
Like I said, I want a lot of cards from that pack in that deck. MTGO Power Cube or Holiday Cube Postmortem 2013.
What'd you like, what'd you not like?
I loved the fact that they changed up the pay structure and that I could sit in the Swiss queue all day and play infinite Magic for free.
Yeah, considering the effective cost to them is basically nothing, it's nice to have it cost us basically nothing.
Right. I don't want that one to go away. And with my new current plan of streaming a lot more MTGO Cube, I really wish I'd been able to do it for the Holiday Cube. I like that system because you get the Mo drafts, Mo rounds, Mo entertainment for minimal dollar.
For no money?
Yeah.
Mo draft, no money.
And I was able to do a lot of people. Marcel from Brainstorm Brewery, Matty Studios and Kevin Metal from Heavy Meta. Why would I forget what show they're from? Jason.
Were you on that show like 2 days ago?
I was on that show 2 days ago. Check out mandeprive.com. Oh my god, this comment from yesterday was hilarious. I stopped by mandeprive.com to see if anyone had said anything about the show, and I'm sitting there with a non-Magic playing friend. He's like, the top of the website says Canadian Magic, like the home of Canadian Magic. He's like, Canadian Magic, that's just different from American Magic? it's like you guys play with different rules or something. I was like, it's surprisingly funny.
Everyone plays red-white.
I guess. Snowlands only.
The card, sorry, is tournament legal.
Snow Basics are always legal and standard.
Yes.
I like that idea.
Well, Snow Basics are the only lands you're allowed to play.
Oh, okay. Tundra is legal.
Tundra is legal in all formats. Falling Glacier is legal in all formats. Basically, every standard just has Ice Age Cold Snap in it, just shoved in there.
Just all the time.
All the time.
I don't think that would affect people too much.
Yeah, force it will.
The mono black decks in standard right now, if they had Necro,
it'd be gross. Pretty good with Grey Merchant.
Yeah, Necro into Grey Merchant.
Ooh, it's hot.
We just made shit up now.
All right.
Anyway, I think that the cube was balanced. I think that there were definitely some cards that were really missing. I think Gilded Drake.
Well, and that's how I feel every year.
But
every
really
time they
strangely egregious errors for a format that they really push.
Yeah, I think I will say this about the people who design the MTGO cube. They are not afraid to take risks with their list.
How so? Risks that people be pissed?
Well, in the sense of what we and other people would consider cube staples are not safe from the chopping block in any given iteration.
Oh, yeah. We just lost Sheldock Isle.
Yeah, and
just lost it.
That card's stellar. This is just an excellent card.
All the time.
And, it just no, not anymore. So, they're certainly willing to experiment, I think more than a lot of other, and it's partially a function of we do it for a little while, and then we get to toy with it for a while, and then every couple months.
I think Usman. I mean, again, this is old news at this point. I think he had written something about how the changes for the Holiday Cube Beyond the Power seemed really phoned in, which was disappointing. But I definitely feel like we were missing Life from the Loam. We were missing Gilded Drake. We could have really even used something as simple as Sulfur Elemental. I mean, I drafted so much blue, and there were all these things where it's I just need spells that are going to resolve against when I'm not playing blue.
Right.
They just made me draft blue so many more times. I mean, it's almost to the point where I'm kind of missing the color hosers that used to be in there. We all kind of laughed when Celestial Purge, Red Blast, Blue Blast.
Yeah, that was weird.
But it's ironic because Red Blast could just sit in the Holiday Cube and it would be a fine card. All the time.
It'd be weird.
It's blue gets True Name Nemesis, red gets Red Elemental Spell bonus.
Right.
Not close to matching things out. Yes, we are streaming. Yes, it has been a long time since we have been here. Yes, we apologize. We're trying to cover the exhaustive Born of the Gods set review. It's going to take forever. The set is so good.
Yeah.
Sarcasm is very thick. Now, I drafted the MTGO Cube, I don't know, 60 times? Something like that? How many times did you get in there?
A few.
A few. Okay. Non-zero. Non-zero.
I'm a working man.
I know. I've been pretty much in the last week of December, the between Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
I got kind of a free pass a couple of days. Just woke up.
So you drafted it a ton.
Waved to the missus.
Right. You drafted it a ton. What did you not like?
Cards that were missing.
That it?
The fact that blue was so seemingly oppressive. Well, no, not. I didn't win many a match without blue. The fact that you just kind of added True Name Nemesis without really thinking about it. Sure, we had Toxic Deluge, but
Yeah. All right. So, what would you like? next cube iteration, what are you hoping for? Just
Next
return of
powered
the
cube
classic.
iteration?
Well, presumably we're going to get one with one of the gods release week or whatever on Moto, right?
We are. That change is already up. You can actually pull that up. You can take a look at it.
Oh, did they? Okay.
They made the announcement. Cube is coming back on the 20-day Wednesday. I hope/plan to be streaming it at that point in time. The details of which I'll get to a little bit later.
What do you know?
Yeah, and if you scroll down, there should be a list of all the changes. In this, I think it's in this page. Ta-da!
Oh, that's actually a lot of changes.
Ta-da! Can we show the people at home what we're talking about?
Yeah.
All right. So here's a list from the last iteration of Unpowered Cube to the current iteration of Unpowered Cube from the HGO Cube perspective. Now on the remove side, just looking at it real quick.
All Sons Dawn for Pattern of Rebirth.
More fun, I think.
Okiba Gang for Erebos.
Let's not go one by one here. Let's just look.
I'm
What
just-
jumps out at you? Like we just randomly lose.
Forbidden Alchemy being cut is weird.
Thassa is terrible in Cube.
Yeah. Ninja the D-Power is getting cut for Master of Waves? What in the...
Do
what?
not like... Yeah, Absorb for Daxus Similitas? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
We know you want to play with the new cards of the new set.
Glorious Anthem for Spirit Heliod. Okay,
Strict
fine.
upgrade. Strict upgrade.
Soul Fusion, Xenagos, that's fine. Behemoth Sledge for Fleecebane Line. I actually like that. Just because I want to play with this card. I want to try it out.
Oh, okay. You do want to play this. The chat asks, how do you feel about adding True Name Nemesis? What do you think about
Trilands for Scrylands, I disagree with very strongly.
Driscoll and Ebert give that one a big thumb down.
Yeah.
No good. No good. We added the True Name Nemesis to the cube.
Stillmoon Cavalier for Blood Baron and Vizcopa. I understand why they did that. I like Stillmoon, but Blood Baron's obviously way better.
I think removing Powder Keg and to add Pentaprism is just a little weird because...
I think that's just a Storm thing, right?
Is it? There's not really... whatever. So, briefly on True Name Nemesis. We brought it in because we play the most powerful cards in Magic. Sends, like, stupid stuff.
Yes. Sans stupid stuff.
Like Fast Bond. It's like, it's all or nothing. It's not even very good when it's all. But you get the idea.
Steam Augury. Oh, no.
Whatever. Draco Genius is terrible anyway.
I know, but oh, God, that card's so bad.
I've seen it be worse.
Devoted Jury for Carry, dude, that's fine. I like a fair amount of these changes. Goblin Patrol for Fire Dragon, like a lot of these make sense to me. Yiva for Pelucranos, like that's a slam dunk. I'm a little sad that they're cutting Profane Command because I like cards with that much flexibility. I think you could probably find other black spells to cut because black sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sad to see Forbidden Alchemy also going because I like the functionality for.
I mean, on the sad to see go side, my feelings could be summed up in: give me back my Trilands, give me back my Forbidden Alchemy, and I'm sad to see Ninja go.
Yeah.
But that's just because I love blue cards and I love Trilands. On the come in side, I'm
happy about most of these.
Yeah, I mean,
this is pretty close to what we added.
We can cut the crap and just not add like Daxos and Miletus and Thassa and Master of Waves because of we wrote a book about this guy and these cards won a Pro Tour.
Right.
And get the hell out of here, Temples, because you're just not good. And if we did those things, I would have no complaints about the changes they made.
Boros Charm for Wear and Tear, I can see where they're coming from. Boros Charm kind of has a bit of a target on its back.
I wonder what our life would be like if we put Wear and Tear in the cube. Maybe that'd be too low impact.
What would life be like? Cut Boros Charm. So anyway, so that's the change list. So for the most part, I like this. I like this update. A lot of cards, that were kind of darky.
There's nothing like horribly egregious here.
Other than the Trilands. The Trilands are pretty egregious.
Yeah, I really like Trilands. Who doesn't like mana fixing in their cube?
Yeah. So, anyway, Born of the Gods spoiler.
I think we should use the Wizards one because we can do it by color since the whole thing is out.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, we never do this when the whole spoiler is out.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's true.
We'll switch it up to the complete WotC style. If you have to go to trading or higher trading card game. Yeah. Well, no, wait. Products. On the left. You gotta use that arrow down. Born to go. There we go. Not as organized today. So those listening after the fact, there's a little bit of dirtling going on.
It's Right. 2014, year we killed the turtle. Okay, so
I think it's kind of makes me think of like The Price is Right. Like just spin it until it stops.
Yeah.
Like you just go until you see something that's worth talking about.
yeah.
I look at 4 cards. They're all white. None of them are worth talking about.
Do you like any of the cards from this cycle?
The Devotion spell cycle.
Yeah.
The red one is like.
In a slightly alternate universe, I like the blue one.
I think if the blue one cost 4 colorless, I'd like it.
What?
Because that would be sweet. Like if all of the spells that like reward you for devotion were technically colorless, or like had some riff on them, but they would still devote you for the color.
That'd be really weird.
I know, it'd be cool. It would like make me interested about the set.
Okay. What about so anyway, I like in a slightly different world, like where Thassa and Master of Waves is good, I like the blue one.
Sure.
But that's like
barely
pretty,
even. But
yeah.
in a deck with those cards are in decks where you want to tap out an attack.
I think those would be good in like a cube that somehow managed to have like Lord of Atlantis.
Oh, if there was like a tribal cube.
Yeah, tribal Merfolk cube, you could like sneak those in.
That second wildfire was terrible. It was the big wildfire that we
Destructive Force is so much worse than Wildfire.
Yeah.
And technically, it should be the third Wildfire.
True.
Behind Burning of Zindi, which is just Wildfire. So Destructive Force was surprising. Like the jump from 6 to 7 made that card a lot worse. What about the archetypes? Do you like any of these?
They're all too expensive.
Even
the white one's the best one, but even that one not good in cube.
I mean, limited blowout.
Theros
limited blowout, but yeah. Although it doesn't take us long to find an actual winner. Brima's King of Oreskos.
The auto-include of the set, I feel like.
The snap-off mythic.
Yeah.
Hero of Bladehold's furrier brother.
It's one of those scenarios where it's like, how much text could you remove from this card where it would still be played in cube? Like, if you started with a 1/1 and a white for a 3/4, and you're like, well, better trained Armadon, like, white doesn't have great 3-drops, like, probably wouldn't add it, but that's a pretty good Magic card, isn't it? Yeah. Like,
and then you're like, Vigilance. I bet. And then you're like, making tokens on all places. So yeah, this guy's automatically snap. You know, he's going in, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think
he plays well with like everything White tries to do. You know, he's great with Honor of the Pure. He's great with token stuff. Yeah, he just like
now the nail has been hit on the head right there. If it had been casted at double white and 2, it'd be a very different world.
Right. This would just be like, why isn't this just Hero Bladehold?
Because
I think it'd still be good enough because Hero Bladehold is so good.
Kind of. It's one of those things where white is. I mean, Magic in general is missing out on 3-drops, which makes this guy such an easy include.
Yeah, 3-drops are hard to come by, especially. Yeah. So that guy's snap in. Let's see. Eidolon of Countless Battles.
Nope.
Okay.
I will stop and talk about Fated Retribution because I think that card is not as bad as advertised.
7 is a lot.
7 is a lot.
I understand that they couldn't print it at other costs. They couldn't break it 6.
6 would be sad because then planar cleansing would be like, oh, I thought it was a Magic card.
Like a Chroma's Vengeance is like,
I really like Fated Retribution because in a lot of the white control decks, similar to a lot of the blue control decks, you just can't interact, even the black control. A lot of the control decks,
you just can't interact with planeswalkers.
Exactly. So the ability to, be like Sphinx's Revelation or this, or counterspell open, then end a turn this, I like a lot. That you can kill Gideon Juras, you can kill cameos, you can kill Karns on 10, you can kill.
7 is a shitload.
So I tried to rationalize it to people I knew. I was like, look, we play Route. Route is many times cast at 7 mana.
I would be fine with cutting Route for this.
Whoa, that's new news to me.
Or one of the 5 mana Wraths. Just for the sake of variety.
So you would cut Winds of Wrath to put this in, sure, leaving in the possibility of still routing on 7?
Sure. Because I think Route's instant thing is better than Winds of Wrath's awkward enchantment clause. But I'm willing to try this out over because I feel like the 5, especially the non-4 mana Wraths, are very mediocre and redundant. So I'm willing to mix it up with a potentially worse card for variety's sake.
And we also brought in a Chroma's Vengeance 4 months ago or so. We could also cut a Chroma's Vengeance for this card.
Yeah.
I actually don't like that.
I think we should be cutting a Chroma's Vengeance for Austere Command. Because I like that card more. Because Austere Command is just...
I don't know, the thing I like about a Chroma's Vengeance is like when you're really behind, you're no longer really behind.
Yeah.
Like with Like, I got a cast against me the other day to hit, like, my Mimic Vat, my Underworld Connections, and, like, my 2 random dudes on the board.
That would be very difficult to do. Oh, a Chroma's Vengeance. I thought you... Yeah.
Yeah, like, a Steer Command can't really do that.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I think this is at least... We could talk about slotting this in over one of the other...
This is easily the only faded card we are considering. But we'll get over that. So, this is the greatest rigging endorsement I've heard from anyone else on Faded Retribution. Most people thought I was crazy for considering it.
I just think white sweepers are, other than the 4-mana ones, are redundant, mediocre, and uninteresting. So I'm willing to take, like, even if this card's worse, it's like no one's even going to notice that it's worse because nobody even wants to be playing Winds of Wrath and stuff. And it's different. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, I like it. We will move it all the way up to the maybes, which we'll change later.
That, great. The Hitman Heart here. No. You want a 2/4/4?
Nothing.
Hero of Aroas.
No.
Holy Strength guy.
No.
Ornithark.
No.
You don't like this guy?
No.
He's like Cloud Goat Ranger.
No, he's not. He's like a 5/5 flyer.
Okay.
I mean, he's always whatever is worse for you.
Yeah. Here we go. Spirit of the Labyrinth. I like this card.
Yeah. Oh, it's going in.
It's going in.
Not close.
Yeah. 3/1 for 2. Already like Blade of the Sixth Pride was in Cube.
For a little while. Not that long.
Relevant ability. If you ever get to catch somebody with like Aether Vial.
Oh, yeah.
And like they go to Brainstorm, you like gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Something that's excellent.
Spirit of the Labyrinth is possibly like the...
If you have to make a change, if you don't want to make room for this with something else, this is an easy swap for a quarter paladin.
Yeah. This card goes in your cube.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
You can even Enlighten Tutor for it.
Ta-da!
Or set Academy Rector dies. Look at this.
It instant
Snap.
speed. Oh! Goblin Bombardment, sack your guy, get this guy in the middle of a brainstorm. Boom!
Yeah. It's like Sphinx Revelation. You're like, nah, I don't think so. Why did I get that card?
Well, white really is like above the curve in this set. 2 cards we're going to include for sure, and 1 that we're legitimately debating.
That's...
Let's move on to blue. Ship it.
Arbiter of the Ideal.
Yeah, ship it.
You don't like put 7 to play?
No. 6 mana.
I know.
Not as good as any of the Sphinxes.
You know what card I liked, or I was surprised at? Fatted Infatuation. You don't want to make a clone for 3? Clone for 3 Sky
we would play Cackling Counterpart before we played this card.
I fully agree. Mind Read. Can I interest you in a worse Grimoire Thief?
Oh, I was going to say it's a worse Void Mage Prodigy.
Oh, well, it's certainly a worse Void Mage Prodigy, but so is Grimoire Thief.
Okay.
Grimoire Thief was the Merfolk they printed that was this, but like all you had to do was untap it to get to mill them, and it cost 1 to activate instead of 2.
Yeah, poor Ancestral Vision. Ancestral Vision gets shit on all the time because it has Suspend. Like, there's all these cards that just mess it up left and right.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Nullify?
Keep it coming.
Perplexing Chimera.
Keep it coming.
Actually, this card I think is really cool.
That card has existed before. It's called Banishing Neck.
Yeah.
It was way better at Eventide.
In this format, it's pretty sweet.
It's alright. Crap.
That's the rebuff we were talking about earlier.
Crap.
Tomocrators.
Crap. No evasion.
Whelming Wave. The flavor wave.
It is full of flavor.
The wave of flavor.
Yes.
Anyway.
And we're out of blue.
Yeah. Funny how that works. Yeah. This set, in case anybody has not fully looked through it with a cube eye, not very good at all.
Right.
There are some winners, however, for things like Budget Cube, Pauper Peasant, things like that, such as Bioplay. Bioplay is the upgraded Echoing Decay.
Echoing Decay. Yeah, I thought for 2 seconds we might add this to the cube. Giving -3 to the toughness is a lot more prevalent and important than -2. And it is nice to have an answer to token generators, which there are always more of in cube. At the end of the day, I gave a pass on this card just because double black.
And it's just because it doesn't kill enough. Like, it kills tokens, but it doesn't kill big stuff.
Right. I almost kind of like Illness in the Ranks more.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Illness in the Ranks is a reasonable magic card for cube.
But
not reasonable enough to
Curse
play.
of Death's Hold.
That is also, well...
Night Soul's Betrayal?
Night Soul's Betrayal first, yes.
Champion is straight now. Dry and Sorrow. What do you think about that?
We've never played Massacre. We've never played Infest. We've always talked about maybe one day possibly playing them. They've never really been good enough.
Yeah, I think Massacre would probably be the first one in.
Yes, Massacre would be the first
But
one.
we try and avoid like the pure color hating.
I mean, nothing is like when you tap out at source, or when you play mana at sorcery speed for what you hope is a board sweeper, you really want it to be that.
Yeah.
Like Pyroclasm costs 2 mana. Okay, well you can do that in a lot of turns where you're still doing other things.
Right.
Slagstorm can hit players. Slagstorm is 3 for 3 mana. Like you kind of see where the line is drawn.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we just got Toxic Deluge, and that card is very good.
I really like Toxic Deluge.
Yeah, but it's not in the same ballpark as Drown in Sorrow.
No. But if you're working under a limited budget, limited rarity situation, I think Brown is perfectly reasonable.
I mean, I could definitely see common uncommon cubes if we're playing Infest, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
Just to upgrade
It's
to
a
this.
strict upgrade. Eye Gouge possibly wins the flavor.
The flavor award of the set.
Flavor award of the set. Very cute.
I think Raised by Wolves wins the gold medal of that for this set.
Eye
Gouge is the silver medalist.
I don't know. Eye Gouge is great. I do like that it kills like Mutavault and stuff. It's funny.
Kill Community Colossus.
Oh no! You have to Moon
Life
Lace or
Lace,
something.
Life Lace.
Life Lace. Fate Unraveler. Fated Return. The big whammy reanimate spell.
If you take the 4 colorless off of
the
its
spell?
casting cost, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I'll agree with that statement. Here's a card that I like. I don't necessarily think is keep-worthy, but it maybe is Guild.
Why do you like it?
Well, I think it's really cool, and that's about it. The art is weird because it kind of looks like it was made like I need to see one of these up close because it kind of looks like bad, like 90s CGI. This looks like the reboot cartoon.
Yes.
Which is funny on a Magic card to me. It's very different than traditional black removal and like getting the gold and you get mana from it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You don't like it?
These are things I don't like.
You hate change?
Yeah, I hate change. I'm vehemently against change.
Okay. That's all I have to say.
Herald of Torment.
Oh,
3 drops are hard to come by.
That's a bad
Can bestow at the same price as Boonsatyr to give your guy flying and make big.
Nah.
As you may or may not be able to tell, I am championing Herald of Torment for the Cube update, and I am alone in that championing, so it may or may not happen.
It just doesn't do anything.
It's the black version of Serendipity.
Yeah, except one of the best things about Serendipity is that it has 4 toughness.
And it's blue.
Well,
yeah, this guy may not make the cut. He is currently on the maybes list. I think that this is a prime product of black needs 3 drops, black has evasion, black has an efficiently costed guy.
Sure, I mean, like, it checks off all the right boxes, but it just doesn't, I don't know. Not enough. I don't know.
Herald of Torment will be a...
If it was a 3/4...
Oh, yeah!
Then get it.
And give your guy +3/+4?
Hey, if it was Serendipity, but it
also just randomly
just
had bestow.
Because, Serendipity is like a 15, 20-year-old Magic card at this point, so we could print something slightly better.
I think you're a bit greedy, but... look, if this guy is worth bolting, then he's probably pretty good.
I just want what's best for black. Alright. Marshmist Tiny, you can be so cheap. You go Necropose, and then oh my god. Painseer. Here we go.
This was like one of the first cards spoiled from the set, and things look good right out of the gate.
Yeah, we were like, oh, here we go again.
Inspire is going to have some hot stuff attached to it. People are going to want to interact with that shit. Nail it. Now, the thing about Painseer is we want to attack as the black creature casting person. And the goal is to be able to continue attacking and thusly untapping and drawing extra cards.
My problem with Painseer is that he only draws you cards if you're ahead. Because if you're behind, you're not attacking, he's not getting untapped, you're not drawing cards. That being said, he is better than Blood Scrivener, I think. In most cases, not all. My deck today would have loved having a Blood Scrivener, because I was emptying my hand with Bizarre Baghdad.
Yeah, your deck might have also enjoyed Painseer. You were also attacking a lot.
My deck was also very expensive. A lot of 5s and 6s.
Another reason you just want a 2-drop.
But, for the most part, I think Painseer is going to be better. Dark Confidant affects, Dark Confidant, Grim Tutelage?
Dark Tutelage.
Dark Tutelage. This card, they're hard to gauge because curves tend to be more spread out in cube decks than they are in like building a deck around Dark Confidant. So they're a little more risky, and that kind of affects their value.
It's funny because this card actually increases the value of Dark Confidant in cube. This is another aggressive 2-drop you can play in the black
Exactly.
deck.
Like it lets you go more all in on it. I think he's fine. I don't think he's going to be really making a ton of waves. I mean, Dark Confidant doesn't make a ton of waves, so I mean he'll be okay. He might end up being worse than expected if he's not able to attack regularly, but we'll see. I think for right now he's going in.
Always find equipment.
A bunch of junk. Ugh.
Yeah, I see no reason to slow down.
Archetype of Aggression.
Nope.
Bolt of Kyranos.
Nope.
Fall of the Hammer.
Nope.
Fated Conflagration.
Nope.
If only it hit anything. It hit players. It's so weird. It's so weird that it hits creatures or planeswalkers.
Don't care.
I just... Fellhide Spiritbinder. Cheap tokens. Flame Wreathed Phoenix.
I do not like this card.
Interesting. I do.
So you get you get Phantom Monster with
No.
kind of buyback.
No. You get 3/3 haste for 4 with
wait. The battlefield if it wasn't okay, so it has haste if it wasn't paid.
Right. So you get 3/3 haste that comes back but dies, or you get a 5/5. You get Wrathy Dragon.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I mean,
with a lot of the tribute guys, they all have to be in the same caliber of the Xenagos' trample guy, like for cube environments, because they can't be swingy enough where your opponent will always make the better choice to give you the like the highs are really high and the lows are really low. It's just too much. You want to stay right in that middle ground, and I can understand this card's closer to that middle ground than take 5, make a 5/5.
Well, there are a couple of tribute cards in this set that are like relatively close. Like
this one is
one of them,
is one of the more close, and thusly I understand why.
Like I'm fine with both sides in most cases.
I am not.
I mean, most cube decks don't want a 5/5
if my opponent's holding a sorcery speed answer, I give a 5/5. If your opponent can take 3 damage, or worse yet, block the thing, they're like, have a 3/3.
Sure. I'm not saying it's great. I'm saying it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some of Red's 4-drops are kind of starting to show their age a little bit.
Such as?
Keldon Champion.
This guy better than Kill. I like Keldon Champion, but I better than this guy.
I hate Echo. I hate it. Crappity crap. Oracle of Bones.
Not a card. Another Torch Fiend. Do we need another Torch Fiend?
Over Hearth Kami, yes.
Wow, interesting.
How is that interesting?
I like Hearth Kami better.
What? Why?
Because he could destroy Moxes on 0. He can destroy...
That is literally the only case.
Where he's better?
Yes.
You can, actually, anything 1 or less, Hearth Kami is better.
Sure.
Because you don't have to pay red.
I'm not worried about it. This guy is better than Hearth Kami.
Alright.
I think that's a strict upgrade.
Alright.
Satyr Fire Dancer. What do you think about
Not
this
a
guy?
card. Not a card.
You think it's... Really?
I don't think it's a card.
Wow. I think it's kind of a card. How about the next Satyr on the list? Satyr Nixsmith.
The Satyr Nixsmith I liked a lot initially, and I'm surprised how many people were not stoked on this card. So you've effectively got like a Goblin Chariot that when it untaps, you have the option to pay 3 to make another 3/1 haste creature. It's not until end of turn. It's not like...
The tokens last forever.
Yeah.
You could use them, you can attack with them or block.
Yeah. I really like this card. I think that it's a great way for the red decks, because the red decks are always running out of gas. The red decks are always like, I've dropped my hand, and now I'm in top deck mode. And you want to have options. You want to be able to do stuff. Yeah. And Nixsmith really does that, because, again, 3-drops that are decent in all formats are hard to come by. And while on the surface this guy looks like, Goblin Chariot with a very expensive triggered ability attached to it, I think that there is depth and long game in this card.
There's going to be enough times where you get 5 power out of one card, and that's going to be good enough. The red deck's not looking... It's looking for small edges. It's looking for small gains, and this is a card where, that makes perfect sense. You're just getting a little bit extra out of him than a normal card.
Yes, if Satyr Fire Dancer had been a 2-1 for 2, it'd be a bit of a different story. The fact that it's just a 1-1 that relies on you having to dome your opponent to then hit their creatures that are in play that are important for you to kill is just asking a little bit too much for my tastes.
Searing Blood, also known as the
Other Searing Blaze?
the easier, the new.
I would call it the actual instant speed Searing Blaze. Because
Right.
the thing about Searing Blaze in Cube is 9 times out of 10 it's a sorcery. It's a really good sorcery, but it's still a sorcery. And every time you're holding it, you're always like, well, I have to cast this on my turn. It's not really a combat trick, or that's just how it plays. Where this card is like the exact opposite, where you're waiting in the weeds. Like, okay, now with the Serum Blade, get your guy, also get you. Like, that's really good.
Also sweet with Satyr Fire Dancer.
Just shotgun blasts all over the place with that card.
Just killing stuff all over the place. You think worth discussing, swapping for Searing Blaze?
I think Searing Blaze is so good on its own that I'm okay with it being a sorcery.
The difference between 2 and 3 is pretty significant.
The difference between can never target a player and can target a player is a pretty big deal. Like, we let Searing Blaze live because it is just so good when the stars align for it. That's why we keep it.
Yeah.
This card,
and to be fair, the stars aligning is not. It is a bit of a hyperbolic statement on how hard it is to trigger it.
And that's the other thing is sometimes like your opponent's at 3, and they're like, oh shit, you gotta.
I'll play a blocker. You're like, gotcha.
Exactly. It's like it doesn't matter that it was Avengers Zendikar. You're still dead.
Right. But worth considering. I think at least put that you have to slap this right into the bench warmer binder.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what's like someone's got to have a blowed knee for this card to come in.
Yeah. The flail Searing Blaze has to get torn. By the way, I've never seen the Stormcaller of Keranos card. This card is sweet.
Yes. A hasty, again, Goblin Chariot with
Scry 1
continual activate Scry 1 activation.
Yeah, that is really good.
That is a good,
not a cube card.
Good limited card.
Limited card, yeah, that's excellent. Web of the Fates. God, this costs 6.
And it's so bad.
It's so bad. I just want to see people YOLO and just go all their cards in one pile.
You can't. Piles can be empty. My mistake. It's a good thing it says that.
Yeah, so it's just literally a 1 in 3 chance that you lose the game instantly or don't give a crap about their stuff. Courser of Crufix. Moving into green now, quickly.
Quickly saying Charging Badger. Favorite card from the set. Charging Badger.
Alright, there you go.
Charging Badger. Yes, Courser of Crufix. We were talking about this card earlier.
Also known as Lil Oracle of Moldiah.
Wishes it was Oracle of Moldiah. You don't get initial land drop off of it, which is one of the hot parts of Oracle of Moldiah, where you cast it, reveal the top card of your library, see it's a land, fist pump, drop that land into play.
That was what really makes Oracle insane, is its ability to snowball and just go from 4, 5, next turn, 6, 7, now you've drawn 3 cards, now you're playing Avenger on turn 5 or something, it's crazy.
So it's hard to really weigh this card against it. I will say that 3 drops, still really hard to come by.
Better body.
Big butts are big and they cannot lie, so you've got that going for you. And you can get some incremental advantage with this card. Obviously, the top of your deck manipulation is key in the cube environment. Sensei's Divining Top only increases in value as the years go on.
Sylvan Library, Scroll Rack,
keeping Scroll Rack around. Scroll Rack.
Things that make this card better. And incremental life gain is also surprisingly decent. And the fact that it plays well with Kodama's Reach or Explore or Fetch Lands.
It's kind of like it has Pro Red in a nice way.
Yeah,
because you could block a lot of Red's guys and you can slowly gain life by playing lands.
Yeah, and they probably have to spend 2 burn spells to kill it. Which is sweet. If you gain 1 life, eat 2 burn spells. This card's stellar.
Yeah.
So
we're going to play it. As much as I say it's not as good as Oracle and Moldiah, and we all get it, it's more of a turn 4 play where you cast it before you play a land, reveal the top card. Is it a land? Yay!
Yeah.
None of these cards are worth talking about.
Poor Fated Intervention.
You need to make 3 centaurs.
That would be really good.
It would be good. None of these cards are worth talking about.
Combat Trick.
No.
The Big Mama Tribute card.
Don't care.
I was so bummed when I read this. I thought that Peregrination the first time was Explosive Vegetation Scry 1. because like that card is 10 years old now, and we could probably put a better one.
Yeah.
But no, it's just Kodama's Reach with 1 mana stapled onto it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. It was like, if it was explosive vegetation, it's like, okay, that's sweet. Scry 1 for that. So you're saying Raised by Wolves is the flavor saver of the set?
That is the gold medal winning, flavorful card of the set.
I will say that the picture is adorable.
Just because the cat is so small.
He's a little tiny.
If he was bigger than the wolves, I'd almost think it would be a better picture. But it's like he was raised.
Right, because like
he's
like
full
Lion
blown.
King, he's like the full blown.
Yeah. Regardless, love it. We'll never play it, but we'll love it.
Satyr Wayfinder.
Yep.
If only it put the land into play.
Yep. Crap.
Oh god.
Crap.
They're all bad. Sky Reaping.
Oh, we're in the gold now. Alright.
Alright, Chromanticore.
Yep.
Okay. You don't want to even...
Eye Gouge is the silver medalist. We said that earlier in the show. I don't know who the bronze medalist for flavor is in this set.
I'd have to look back.
Off the top of my head, but it definitely goes Raised by Wolves into Eye Gouge.
So you don't even want to discuss briefly Chromanticore versus Sliver Queen
No.
in a Wooburg face-off.
Oh, hell no. I'm never natural ordering for Chromanticore.
You're natural ordering for Sliver Queen.
Yeah, I am, and have. I'm never Oath of Druidsing into Chromanticore.
Well, that's so terrible that you Oath the Druids into a token maker. Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, but you decide when to go off.
Oh.
Casually have a 7/7. You're like, alright, I got 6 mana now. I'm not worried about your deck. You're playing like red-white.
Alright. Afara. Blue-White God.
Afara from Playable.
How long have you been keeping that one?
I didn't know that's how you pronounced their names. I just came up with it.
Okay. I do like that it plays really cute with Brimaz.
Making
tokens on both sides.
Yeah, because your opponents don't have to be attacking.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Fnatic and Xenagos. So this is kind of like what I was talking about, it being like the two sides of the tribute are so close together.
Right. Like this card is almost playable because you know what you're getting every time.
Like you're getting a 4/4 trample for 3, or you're getting a 4/4 trample haste and then a 3/3 trample.
Yeah.
Like that's totally reasonable. I think that if our gold section was bigger, I think that this guy would be an easy.
Yeah, I mean we
slot.
talked a bit about the Gruul section in this update and how Eck's a little fed up with the way the section looks. We're going to try to mix up a little bit.
My argument in general was that for the gold section specifically, we only have, of each color combination, 6 cards. And because it's so small, the cards should be dramatic.
Go on.
It should be cards that are like this started with talking about Vithian Renegades, because that's a card that is, we already play Cullen Vandals, Verdian Shaman, Uktabi Orangutan. Do we really need to spend one of 6 red-green slots on a card that is arguably worse than those because it's harder to cast?
But it's so good. It's 3 power. It's another orangutan.
Who cares about 3 power?
I care about 3 power.
Cares.
I care.
Nobody cares.
I like that card. That's what it came down to. So
So that was like the talk. So, we've been talking about gold sections for different stuff. Karametra, yeah. No, yeah. If this was like a 2 mana, 2/3 or something, so like you could actually use the
that'd
ramping.
Be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
How about Kiora?
I'm gonna pass on her.
Interesting.
I'm gonna pass on her. Starting at 2 loyalty.
You don't even want to try?
I'm not interested. Starting at 2 loyalty, putting a lot of emphasis on the explore portion, so it's kind of like this weird like rebound sorcery. Even explore is one thing. The alternative side of that is you have to spend 4 turns, like force bubbling something to then get an emblem to make vanilla 9/9s.
Did you see the article about her design?
No, I didn't.
Like very briefly before she got printed, or like not very briefly, like towards the end of development when they had hammered out her +1. It was originally, it didn't say an opponent controls on it. It would just prevent all damage that would be to her permanent.
You did tell me about that.
So you just target herself.
Yeah,
like,
that was. I remember when fake Elspeth was making the rounds for Theros.
Whereas
she could bubble herself.
Yeah, I remember fake Elspeth.
Yeah, fake Elspeth.
Mogus Horrid. That card is real bad. if it was each player's upkeep, you could deal damage to like each opponent, then maybe. But I don't know. Phoenix, god of milling. I just loved. This is the last god that got spoiled, and everyone across the internet was like, "Please don't let it be milling. Please don't." Let
Oh, really?
It be milling. Because people are like, apparently people are very fed up with blue-black only milling ever. So
What
they're
did
just
it- what
like,
did it do
do something different. Oh god!
I mean, what
do
did
something.
blue-black do before that?
Bounce?
Did it just like kill your stuff better?
Yeah.
Which is really not blue.
Made you discard and counter spells.
Yeah. I don't think Wizards is really in the market for that.
Yeah.
For the old spite malice recoil days of blue-black.
Yeah. Replay Sun, Sweet and Limited.
Yeah.
Siren of the Silent Song. Ugh.
Not bad.
Xenagos, God of Revels. I like him. He's a little expensive, but I think that I would like to see him in action because that effect is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
He immediately impacts the board in a way that the other ones do not.
Yes.
Because you just play him
Yes.
pre-combat, pump your 4-drop.
I don't think anyone's going to argue with you that this is the best god from this set. I think what I would ask is, how many times is this guy the difference? And how many times is this guy just another win more?
I don't know.
And that's what you're
Gonna have to. I want
to find out. Okay, because I think it's like, oh, if I have big guys in play, probably winning. If I don't have big guys in play, I'm not doing anything.
Well,
with
this takes
card.
like your medium guys and makes them into huge guys.
That is the real question.
Like all of a sudden, Oracle of Maldaya is just smashing people.
As a 4/4,
Yeah, why not?
maybe.
Or like all of a sudden your Troll Ascetic is terrifying.
Oh, we did skip by Kiora's follower. I do have a sweet anecdote about that one. At our last rotisserie, at our last rotisserie cube draft, Zach, our good friend Zach, he's been on the show before, who was in the draft, was asking us why we don't play Time Vault, and I was like, wow, talk about narrow crap town. And he made like a small case. He's like, oh, Voltaic, he untaps your Wormcoil engine so you can attack with it and block with it, and it does this, that, more mana off your Thran Dynamo or whatever. I'm like, dude, just let it go. And as soon as this card got spoiled, I knew exactly what was coming my way. And sure enough, Zach's like, now it's mana ramping and untaps the Time Vault we should be putting in the cube. I'm like, man, let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
Time Vault is the no funds.
Yeah.
It is the Jace memory adept of taking all the turns.
Right.
Here's your bronze medalist for flavor.
Astral Cornucopia? Oh, Gorgon's Head.
Gorgon's Head.
I was going to say Astral Cornucopia for the Triple X. Vin Diesel's favorite Magic card.
Get him to sign those.
Yeah.
When you see him, he does play Magic.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Adults only.
We cut Manolith over a year ago. If we were still playing Manolith in our cube, we would be like, oh my god, it's big Manolith. But I like Darksteel Ingot because, again, like the...
If only we still had anything that...
Proliferated?
Proliferated.
If we were still playing Contagion class.
Yeah. Gorgon's Head is definitely the bronze medal of flavor. And it only hits bronze because this card's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, Basilisk Collar is just shitting all over this.
Oh, this reminds me of Gorgon Flail from M10.
Yeah.
One more to cast, same to equip. Your guy got +1/+1.
Yeah.
And we are at the temples.
That's weird. Shouldn't there be more temples?
The last two are in the last set.
Oh, right. Silly me. Yeah, so...
There you have it. You can go quickly to the proposed cube list, change list that Eck and I had been talking about yesterday. Nothing is finalized here.
I'll pull up.
But that is the...
Is it?
Yeah, if you go to the last... Yeah, let's go to the last update. We are currently looking at changing just these cards. Although, even from this extra hour of conversation, we will go back into the debate pool and come up with different changes. But
currently, things we're looking to add: Brimaz, Spirit of the Labyrinth, Herald of Torment, Painseer, Ophiomancer, which we missed. We fully admitted it. Saturn Nixsmith, Imperial Recruiter is something we want to try. Courser of Crufix, and we also want to try out Domri Raid.
So my counter argument to Ex Xenagos was Domri Raid, but again,
this might expand a little bit. It might get a little bit smaller. Cards we're looking to cut: Yosai, Imposing Sovereign, Stronghold Rats, Vengeful Pharaoh, Tormented Hero. Man, the cards in my deck today, too. Cunning Spark Mage, Pyrewild Shaman, River Boa, Gorkland Rampager. A lot of these have just been cards that haven't really done anything, which is why they're going to cut. But yeah, this is not a final list. We've still been discussing it with people, and might get cards added. We might change what the cuts are.
Next time we broadcast, we'll make sure to have the definitive list. I'm sure.
To answer chat, Ophiomancer did not ever leave. It never made it in.
Yeah,
and that was I'm fully willing to admit it was a mistake.
I didn't know that it made Death Touch guys. I didn't realize that it had like the Verdant Force text on it, where it was like if it's any upkeeper, you don't have one. I just looked at it. It was like a 3-power guy for 3 that came with this 1/1 snake. Like when we were going over the spoiler for that set the first time, I just missed it. So things should. Oh, boo. Anyway, the Leafs lost. We've got plans and things we have to go to, so we'll be quick on the exit this evening. But thanks everyone for tuning in. We are back by popular demand. It is tough with our scheduling to get in front of the camera these days, but the cube demand is out there, and we have more stuff to talk about. Starting on Wednesday, I'll try to be screaming, screaming some streaming
pretty
over on the new channel. Check out Twitch TV/Copper Squirrel for my new friend's production company. Lots of Zendikar drafts and other interesting interactive video game experiences to be found there. I assume Eck will be streaming some Cube, maybe some Zendikar drafts.
Yeah, possibly.
I'll try to stop in on that if I have a chance when we come down for our regular Cube leagues. But until then, you can find me on Twitter at Tristan Gregson. You can find Eck at Young Mecha on Twitter.
That's right.
Usually where you find him. You can reach us at draftcube@gmail.com. You can check out our list at cubetutor.com. Look for the Magic Box. You can also just check out the regular old blog page at
blogspot.blogspot.com,
which is going to have a lot of our information.
We're rotisserie cube drafting and someone just made a pick.
Yes, so we'll have
very exciting.
We'll have updates on that the next time we talk to you guys as well. So can you link to that channel?
Oh. I'll link in chat.
We're a little off. Twitch is spelled wrong. We're missing the S.
Oh, God. There you go.
There you go, yeah. So this is my new production group. It's some friends of mine that I know that are interested. Oh, Vin is actively picking as we speak. Go there, favorite us, add us on there, and we should be having a lot more content coming from you very soon. There's a bit of an ambitious schedule that people want to... Whoa! Eck is making some aggressive moves!
Moves.
So, yeah, check that out. Singular Squirrel. There's not 2 of us. But until next time, everybody, thanks for tuning into the Magic Box. Hound us to get back out here, especially this guy. He's always got...
The more yelling people do, the more...
Exactly. We want to be more frequent, but our schedules are very difficult. Well, there you have it. Until then, thanks for watching.